So, David, what do you do with the seaweed you remove? And are we seeing more than usual seaweed on those coral reefs at the moment? Is that a shift, a trend that you've seen in recent years?
Globally, there's this interesting interaction between corals and seaweed. So as reefs do degrade in many places of the world, you see this increase in macroalgae. On the Great Barrier Reef, we're actually quite lucky. So it's only a small number of reefs that we're seeing the algal overgrowth occurring. And often it's been persistent there for a long time. So there's been historical drivers that have resulted in the seaweed being really abundant. As climate and obviously the El Nino comes into effect, we can and predict to see more impacts on reefs. So there is quite a lot of concern around that we're going to lose corals, and more corals and seaweed are going to become more common on reefs. And so essentially, as we weed the seaweed, what do we do with it? We remove it and use our snorkelers, which we then take it to a boat, and that's deposited at the moment at the small scales that we're working in composts at a local school. But we're looking at options of where we can actually generate the seaweed and use it in other potential sources as a solution to remove and be a carbon sink itself.
Okay, right. Earthwatch, as the name suggests, is a global movement. Are other parts of the world having the same problems we are with their local reefs, or is the Great Barrier Reef suffering more than most?
I'd say the Great Barrier Reef is one of the best placed reefs in the world, but there are reefs in some of the Pacific Islands, some of Southeast Asia, and especially in the Caribbean, where algal overgrowth and increased macroalgae are a serious problem. And so this is kind of a global issue that we have to face. It's a small potential activity that people can actually get in and help reefs, and we've seen the benefits that it can have. But yes, it's then taking it up to a scale that is actually useful for reef health more broadly.
Professor David Bourne, fascinating to hear about that project. Best of luck with it as you do hopefully look at expanding it. Sounds like it's doing good things. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Ash.